Hi, you're watching Wall Street Confidential. Deborah Borchardt talking with Jim Cramer. Jim, it used to be in the morning, we checked the futures.
Right.
Told us what our day was going to be like.
Well, the futures don't really measure the future. And one of the reasons why that is because the S&P 500 is now a very inaccurate indicator of the action. There will be days where the S&P 500 opens up and then kept up all day by people who are propping it up and then nailing it by the end of the day by ramping in the last half hour. And everyone feels very comfortable with that pattern now. I say that the more important things to look at besides Apple, which I've emphasized over and over again, are the oil futures. And the reason is because the oil and mineral complex is where the real damage is being done in the stock market and in the economy. And you can't have the S&P 500 stay up if oil goes down, because those are the stocks that are the swing factor. Actually, Chevron and Exxon are the swing factors to the futures. In all of the big ramps, Chevron and Exxon have added 3, 4, 5, 6 points in the last 15, 20 minutes. Now, that to me is, and this is what bothers me, that's unnatural. These are 200, 300, $400 billion companies. Yeah. They cannot, and I want to use this analogy, which is why I wanted to do this video, and it's something I've been working on. A lot of people understand real estate. So here's what's going on with the futures. You have an apartment complex. Let's say it's got 100 units. And the average unit's selling for $1 million, okay? But nothing's selling. There's no traffic.
Okay.
And the real price is probably close to like $750,000.
Okay.
But what you want to do is fool people. So what you do is you make a series of transactions that make it look like that the last transaction is 1.1 million, and then there's like 1.3 million. These are phony transactions that you use somehow to be able to create that price.
To get people to come in and
right,
buy the
so
apartment
then,
for the high
for
level.
$1 million.
Okay.
Now, what happens is that if anyone were to hear that the pricing was 1.1, they would very quickly sell their house. But it happens so quickly, you can't, or their apartment, you can't take advantage of it. That's what the futures are doing in the last half hour. They're happening so quickly, you can't sell your Chevron. You just can't get down there. So what I urge people to do is recognize that the oils are the swing. If you're going to play the S&P, as long as Chevron and Exxon are ramping, you're going to keep going and yet the last half hour. But if the oil futures are down and the S&P's up, you're not going to make any money that day playing it long.
So this is what you're looking at when
I'm looking at the oil futures, not the S&P, because the oil futures are controlling the swing stocks in the S&P, which are Chevron and Exxon.
All right, we'll see if
and why that is, I haven't figured out. And I think it's very important to recognize.
But it's working right now.
Can't figure out certain things.
Okay. Thank you, Jim. And this is Deborah. Stay tuned for more at thestreet.com TV.